Welcome back to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is the new account week by week. Here are the topics we've been following the past several weeks. Milestones, lessons learned, progress on the account, what I'm farming, and then the long-term planning. I keep trying to make these videos a little quicker. Turns out I'm a pretty verbose antisocial person. So let's take a quick look at the milestones. This week it was light. So the first several weeks, we have a lot of milestones, a lot of level progress every week. We knew this was going to slow down. A lot of the changes that CG has made in the game with the mod battles, with the new fleet battles, have helped kind of keep the speed of the game going that didn't exist for players when I first started playing 4 years ago. This week we progressed 3 levels. I was really hoping to get to level 75 so I could participate in assault battles, galactic bounties, and other events. And unfortunately, I have missed out this week by just a little bit. We did, however, reach 6-star ships for the Geonosians. We are done with all the simming of the mod tiers. Thrawn and Yoda have finally been unlocked, which wraps up all of the pre-level 85 legendary characters, at least to the unlock level. And we have reached level 74, which means the nodes where we can farm Cad Bane and the Houndstooth are now available so that we can really start focusing on farming for the Falcon. I have been farming IG-2000 ship, but until now, those other ships required for the Falcon Legendary have not been available. And that leads us into the lessons. You see the bottom lesson here is farm the Falcon as soon as you can. The idea there is you need to be always working on the next meta while you are still working on your current team in whatever arenas. And I've slowed that down because of the hyperdrive. We've talked about that in past weeks. But you never want to over-invest in a squad. You need to always be ready to shift to whatever the new metas are as soon as you can. If you hold on to a team for too long, you are going to just postpone your progress in the game. Now that we're in this level 75 to 85 range, we've been prepping for the past couple weeks for the assault battles and all these other events. Now that we are pretty much ready for every assault battle, at least to a certain degree, we're preparing for Grand Arena. We want to level up these teams, get them a little stronger. We want to be focusing on the teams that are going to be more of a Grand Arena problem rather than the other teams that are more easily countered and handled. Like Phoenix, basically, like once you get them to a point where you can unlock Thrawn, just don't ever touch them again until you have a need for like Ezra. Piet has been fantastic for me at low stars now that I have Palpatine at a decent level. How he synergizes with Vader has... all that is known and anticipated. What's been a surprise is even though he was at 2 stars for most of last week and still at gear tier 6, he's been doing a ton of work and that team's been very dangerous. It does fall horribly on defense, but I'm able to climb up to the top 500 Squadrina tier every payout if I'm playing. And the last thing is tied to working on the events and the assault battles is just maximize your resource income at this time. Like after you get to level 85, you're going to have a lot of other things distracting you. It's already kind of happening now that I'm about to hit level 75, where before I was focused on occasionally doing a refresh for the mod battles. But now that I'm getting later into the fleet arena battles and I'm going to need additional ships, that refresh I can't really afford anymore in the mod battle. So that refresh is shifting over to the squad arena or the fleet arena refreshes now that I have unlocked better ships and have more ships that I can go for. Here are all the squad arena teams we've used throughout the duration of this account, starting with the characters that you were given at the start of the game, but I emphasize the characters that have a use in the endgame to one extent or the other. Then we start slotting in Range Trooper as soon as he was available, working towards that Trooper synergy that we were pursuing at the beginning of this account. Then bringing in Boba Fett because Bounty Hunter's Resolve is really powerful in the early game. Then Veers slots in and Boba Fett moves to one of the support characters, shifting into that full Imperial Trooper team that was really powerful for a little while until the Phoenix got better. We still tried to keep it alive by putting in Vader because Snow Trooper isn't very farmable in the early game other than Bronziums, but we eventually shifted over to the Separatists because I had been working on the Geonosians already for their ships, and I had been farming Count Dooku since the beginning, just because Separatists are a really powerful team, and they are a very good counter to the Phoenix, what the Troopers are not. Troopers are decent against Count Dooku, but Dooku is very good against Phoenix. And then this final team here, as soon as we had Palpatine unlocked, we shifted over to him, slotted in Piet. This has been very powerful for me on offense. It does not do as well on defense. And I anticipate shifting out from this makeup fairly soon, but I have no current plans for it. Let me show you what I'm also working on in terms of all the assault battles and Grand Arena. These are the other teams that I have been developing over the past couple weeks, really with an eye targeting on the assault battle requirements. So we have a Separatist team that's I have Newt unlocked as well, but that's going to get me Padme unlocked as soon as we hit level 85. We'll actually have her unlocked at 7 stars. And we have our Trooper team, we have our Empire team, Phoenix, the Jedi, we just unlocked Yoda. We're going to keep developing them. Our Bounty Hunters, I'm looking at using Karga and Mando. They're also going to help me pursue Beskar Mando requirements, but I want to look at how Karga and Mando make unlocking Chewbacca early on. These First Order characters, most of them are actually at 4 stars, not 3 stars. I'm just not promoting them up, but again, we are going to be unlocking every legendary character at level 85 as soon as we hit it. And then these next 2 requirements, this is the progress that we've been making on Night Sisters and Ewoks so that we can be working on Wicked Shards and Telzine Shards. These are a little bit more in the background, but that's one of the things that I want to be getting as many Zetas as possible as soon as possible. And because especially the Night Sisters are great in Grand Arena, I think it makes a lot of sense to put an emphasis on them earlier than I think most people do. They're also great in the Sith raid. So I think the Night Sisters should be a very early focus, and I think they are usually a team that most players put off for far too long. And we got the Farm Boy Luke requirements. Beskar Mando, it's mainly everyone's just unlocked, but I'm doing at least each of those nodes every day. And then eventually I want the clones. At some point in Grand Arena, I want a full clone team with their reworks. Even if you don't have Shaak Ti, their synergies are pretty good, and you can get Shaak Ti soon after hitting level 85 and once you get your Geonosian ship strong enough. Here's a quick look at the farms. Range Trooper we're going to hopefully have wrapped up this coming week. We're just constantly always working on Piet and Bastila Shan. I had a comment last week that pointed out how I'm farming a lot of new characters with only single shard drops and asking why I did that, and I thought it was a great point that I should explain. The reason I'm going after like Mon Mothma, 3PO, Chewie, Piet, and the Beskar Mando requirements are self-explanatory, but these other characters, I'm going for them because of how their kits are designed with their shared stats. They're extremely powerful at low stars, and I'm making a bet that they're going to create some problems for my opponents in Grand Arena. So getting other characters whose shards drop at higher rates, I think we can live without them or just pursue them a little bit more slowly. I want to unlock Mon Mothma, 3PO, Chewie as soon as I can and have them available to me. 3PO, Chewie, you can see I'm not doing as much, but Mon Mothma, I'm trying to hit every day, just depending on my energy income. The one thing I do keep forgetting to address is ships. I want to show you where I am with them. You can see IG-2000, I've been farming since it's been available. Vulture Droid, I've been farming since it's been available and refreshing nodes. You can see the progress here on these Geonosian ships. They're technically at 6 stars, or at least Soldier and Spy are, but I have not promoted them. Sunfac is slow. Sunfac's the one ship that I buy everywhere and anywhere I can find it, and I'm also hitting its nodes. So let me go through those stores. The Clone Sergeant I'm also pursuing pretty aggressively. It's a very great reinforcement. Pretty soon I'm going to need a 6th ship, and that is likely going to be the Imperial TIE Fighter, just in terms of the speed of getting it so that I can use it for the getting Tarkin at higher levels, and also for those daily challenges for the fleets. Some of the other ships I would prefer to have, they're going to just take longer to build up. We'll quickly hit these stores. Cantina store, I'm shifting back to Chopper and slowly working on getting those Phoenix up to 7 stars. It's not a huge priority, but it is what I'm working on, at least where and when available. The other characters, I'm more or less satisfied with where they are. 5s is going to be a priority soon. Boba Fett, I want to get up higher. DACA was what I had been working on, but I'm satisfied with DACA at 4 stars for now, until I get some of those other Night Sisters closer to 5 stars, because these characters are farmed fairly quickly, especially if you refresh the nodes. Guild Story, this is really all about Logray at this point. I've got Dengar already at 5 stars, a number of other characters unlocked. I just unlocked Han Solo because I had a bunch of currency, and because I do want to participate in those smuggler events. Those are a lot of mods that you can get early on, and now that I'm shifting away from the mod challenges, and especially as soon as I hit level 80, I'm going to be going for the slicing materials instead of the mods themselves. So being able to get mods from those smuggler events is going to be in my interest. And then really nothing else in here other than Logray when I see him. Squad Arena store, this store is the biggest pain because it's the most characters who have some kind of utility. Right now we are singularly focused on Newt Gunray until Newt is taken to 7 stars. We'll have Newt ready for Padme. Then we're going to look probably at Kanan or Kanan and getting him to 7 stars. Then is probably the CLS requirements after that. Galactic War Store, we're just doing Geonosian ships. I'm only doing Spy right now. I'm trying to be focused on 1 ship, 2 7 stars. Then we'll hit Soldier after that. And I'm choosing Spy because Spy is the much more fragile one. So I'm more interested in getting Spy up to 7 stars for its durability. However relative it may be. Fleet Arena store, we're getting Sergeant whenever we can, Sunfac whenever we can, and actually Spy we're going to pick up. I've actually been using a decent amount of Guild Event Store currency here for, it was Sunfac when, before I had Sunfac up to 7 stars, but now it's also for a Starfighter. It's not the best use of currency, but I want to make very rapid progress on those ships because that is the best place for free-to-play player to get crystals, although in my particular case The hyperdrive bundle has made it where I'm no longer able to get crystals in the fleet arena. But I'm hoping that as soon as I hit level 85, we'll be able to fight our way into at least top 20, maybe top 50 placement. This is actually far lower than we usually are. I'm usually able to get into the 60s around payout. There's been a time or two when I've been able to get a crystal payout, but it's been few and infrequent. We're going to wrap up here with Galactic War footage of Palpatine, Vader, and Piet. They have been great in Galactic War, just marching through it every day, very quickly getting through the event, which I've really enjoyed. You can see that with this level 60 at the time, I believe, Piet, a bunch of everyone else here is below 70, even though I'm at level 74 right now. They are handling everything very quickly because of how Piet's kit works. The low star count and the low health isn't a huge issue unless there's a lot of AoEs, because he's under stealth for a good amount of time and is marking Stormtrooper with inevitable failure, which just prevents the attacks from reaching him. And then inevitable failure makes the Stormtrooper very tanky, and he's able to really soak up a lot of those hits, and very rarely am I encountering any issues with this team. So this kind of gives you an idea of what they look like and how they've been operating at these levels in Squad Arena as well. But we're going to wrap it up here. We'll let this play out a little bit. But thank you for watching. Hopefully next week with week 8, with events finally being unlocked as we hit level 75, we'll have a lot more lessons as we see how many of those events we can participate in and to what extent. So thank you again. Be safe out there and be excellent to each other. This has been Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.